Hey everyone, I'm Army Gaming, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Monster Legends video. And check it out, the team race ended and so we have a progressive island, the Keeper's Fables. So let me just get into the fight and I'll start talking about this new progressive events, progressive island. And in this event there's only 2 new monsters. And let me tell you, that last monster, Dungeon Master, she is quite amazing. Man, I wish there was an auto feature. Let's see. I should have switched my team. I'll do fatigue hit. And then I will do Elder Curse. I should have just gone for possession. But anyhow, yeah, that last monster, she's quite amazing. As for the epic monster, it looks like it can be Shelnar's little brother or Shelnar's little kid or something. You'll see what I mean. But yeah, the way progressive islands work, I'll start off by saying this because I've explained progressive islands enough. But if you're new to my channel or if you're new to the game, the way progressive islands work is, first of all, it does not, I repeat, it does not matter what level you are. Whether you're level 130 or whether you're level 2, probably not level 2 because at level 2 you don't have enough stuff, but whether you're level like 20, you have the exact same opportunity to get the exact same monsters or progress into the event. What am I even saying? Basically, whether you're level 130 or whether you're level 20, both of you, if you don't spend any money, you'll get to the exact same place. Like, there's no advantage for being a higher level, there's no disadvantage being a lower level. So for example, if there's a total of 8 nodes, maybe the max you can reach is only 5 nodes, regardless of your level. So that's what I like about progressive islands and maze islands. They do not discriminate on level. The only event that discriminates is the 72-hour challenge. The 72-hour challenge, if you're low level, you have it awesome. You can get like 9 monsters in that event. If you play your cards right, if you've done everything perfectly, you can walk away with like 3 new legendary monsters, 3 old legendary monsters, and then the epic that's probably ranked up. So yeah, if you don't know how 72-hour challenge works, just start saving your gold. Make sure your food guardian is ranked up because you're gonna need it, and trust me, you are gonna benefit so much from it. If you're a high level player, well, just stop leveling up. Just refrain from leveling up as much as possible. But anyhow, progressive islands, like I said, they do not discriminate based on level. So with that being said, the only thing you really need to know about progressive islands is that you need to log in every 8 hours. That's absolutely all you need to do. Because all of the different items you get in the progressive island, you know, collecting gold, feeding your monsters, hatching eggs, breeding monsters, you can get a max amount every 8 hours. So for example, I'm pretty sure I haven't played in 8 hours, so you're going to see that I'm going to get 5 collect gold. Let's just see when it pops up. There it is, 5. So I'm done with that. And what else do I need to do? Feed monsters, right? I needed 2 more. I messed up. I should have logged in earlier. The first monster is always the easy one. As soon as the event started, you should have collected gold and gotten 6. You should have fed monsters and gotten 4. You should have done 1 fight and be at 1 out of 3. And you should have hatched an egg. I was dumb and I didn't hatch an egg. But if I would have hatched an egg, that would be at 1 out of 1. And it would already be at 2 out of 2. And I can progress to the next event, the Hyperion Scroll. And the Hyperion Scroll you can do right away. As soon as you progress to a new node, is that what they're called, nodes? Then you can already start getting items for that. And if it ever doesn't work, just exit out of the game and then get back into the game, and that normally always works. This is the same if you're trying to empty out a pool and you find that you can't get that last collect gold item or feed your monster item, just exit out of the game and get back into the game. That always works for me. Trust me, it's gonna work for you too. But anyhow, with that being said, that's all you need to know. Log into the game every 8 hours and just do your task, get your items, and then close the game and come back in 8 hours. The cool thing about progressive islands is that you realistically only need to log into the game 3 times a day. You know, say you wake up at 6 AM, well then at 6 you would collect all your items, then at 2 PM you would log back in and collect all your items, and then again at 10 AM, and then you don't need to worry about it until 6 AM the next morning. So that's one thing I do like about these events. Like, if you're like tired of playing, or you're just like fed up with everything going on, because there's a lot going on, you can kind of take a break. So that's pretty cool. So anyhow, I think that's all I want to say. If I wasn't too clear about what I said, then you have 2 options. You can comment below and I'll try to reply to you, or someone from the community will reply to you, or you can just watch any of my previous videos on the progressive islands because it's pretty much the same information. And so with that said, let's jump into Monster Wiki and see what's going on with this new event. Alright, and so here I am on monsterwiki.com. We have the Keeper's Fable Island going on for 6 days, 12 hours, 55 minutes, and the seconds are counting away. And here are the different missions. First you get Slatentar, then you get Hyperion Scrolls, then Daganth, then Video Ads Chest, which will probably get you a relic or 2, and then Frost Wrath, which I imagine is what most players can get to if you don't spend any money, if you don't spend any gems. So Frostwrath is going to be it for the majority of players. Then we have more Sweet Perion scrolls, and actually you can get that scroll because it's essentially a free item. And then we have the newest epic monster, Burning Rogue, which doesn't it look like a Shelinar? And then we have Dungeon Master, the newest magic legendary monster. And once again, this monster is just so darn incredible. I really wish I can get her. And right now there's a big confusion on whether this monster is a she or a he, but it doesn't matter, it's a monster. So yeah, I'm just gonna, when I first saw this monster, I thought it was a she. So anyhow, I really wish I could get her, but it's not possible, especially since I already messed up with logging into the game. I'm really just gonna be going after Frostwrath, and maybe not even Frostwrath. Maybe I'll just go after the video ads chest, and I'll call it quits. I'll use this whole week to just relax and take a break from Monster Legends. But anyhow, scrolling down, let's see what we have here. And so here shows you a summary of the item requirements for every single monster. So for example, the Ganth, you need to collect 33 gold, you need to feed your monster and get 18 chicken legs, and you need to breed your monsters and get 5 hearts. And then for Frostwrath, wow, 9 breeding, 9 hatching. So maybe, yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll be attainable. And then for the last monsters, as you can see, it requires too much. It's not possible. What you can actually do is click on a monster, and it'll tell you the estimated time it'll take you to get that monster. So for example, if we just click on the item right here, it shows you right here, estimated time, 6 hours and 40 minutes. So in 6 hours and 40 minutes, you should have all 11 items. For the chicken legs, it should only take 4 hours. And the reason this is that when the event started, if you logged in and you collected your 6 chicken legs, you would only need to collect 2 more chicken legs. And 1 chicken leg spawns every 2 hours. And because you need 2 more chicken legs, 2 times 2, that is 4 hours. Which is why it should take you an estimated time of 4 hours to get your 6 chicken legs. So that's how that works. And the way I say you only need to log in every 8 hours is because 4 times 2 is 8. So log into the game every 8 hours, you get the max amount of pool, and you'll get the max amount of items. As for the hatching the eggs, 8 hours. So you should have gotten Slane's Heart in a total of 8 hours. And as you can see from my earlier gameplay, I already failed at that. But anyhow, this monster takes a maximum of 8 hours to get. So by the time you're watching this video, you should hopefully have them. As for the scrolls and the video ads chest, these are always so easy. I know it said you need to breed a monster, but look at that. It's 0. It takes no time to get it because as soon as you get Slane's Heart and you move on to this next mission, it's pretty much automatic. Just breed a monster and you'll get it right away. And like I said, if you find yourself not getting it, just exit out of the game, go back into the game, close the game again, get back into it until you get it. It should happen spontaneously. You can literally just breed a Pandakin, a Fire Star, a Green Star, and you should get it. As for the Ganth, let's see the Ganth. How long is it going to take to get you? I imagine it'll be a lot longer because of the breeding. So it's going to be 8 hours times 5. 1 day in 8 hours, that's actually not too bad. Collecting gold, 1 day in 12 hours, and 1 day in 4 hours. So he should take a max of 1 day in 12 hours, and Slane's Heart takes 8 hours, so we're only at a day in 20 hours. That's not bad, and you already have 2 epic monsters. Video ads chest, once again, this is going to be automatic. Let's scroll down and verify, it should say 0 hours. Yep, 0 hours, so that's automatic. So in 1 day in 20 hours, you already have these 4 missions completed, if you're doing everything right. But now let's check out Frostwrath. I imagine it'll be 3 days, 8 hours, yeah. So again, still totally attainable for anyone who's free to play, so that's pretty awesome. Let's actually click on this, 2 days and 16 hours. Oh, these are actually a lot easier. 2 days, 16 hours, and 2 days, 16 hours. Yeah, so collecting gold is going to be what's going to cost you the most trouble. But if you've already played for a day and 20, and then Frostwrath takes 3 days and 8 hours, you're still good. That's what, only like 5 days and some odd hours, 4 hours? So that's pretty good, which means you can also get Sweet Perion scrolls, which means you probably won't be able to get the new epic monster, which kind of sucks, because he's also pretty darn good too. Let's see, he only takes, yeah, 2 days, 2 hours and 40 minutes. So you could potentially get Burning Rogue, but it's going to cost you a few gems. You just have to be smart with your gems. Like for Slane's Heart, probably, as soon as you did your first collection, maybe you should have gemmed them, just to already move on to the Ganth. And then the Ganth, instead of collecting all that gold, let's see, this is a day in 4, this is a day in 12, this is a day in 8. So once you collect your 5th and final heart, maybe you should just gem the rest of the collecting gold so you don't need to waste an extra 4 hours. So you're just going to be smart about when you actually use gems. But if you're a free-to-play player, or if you're a pay-to-play player but you don't want to spend anything on this event, the most you can get is up to the 2nd Sweet Perion scroll, so 6 missions. That's pretty cool. You get a Frostwrath, which is a fast dragon monster with an AoE free skill. So that's awesome. You get Daganth, who's an epic. You get Slantar, who's a rare. I mean, I guess the best things right now are the Superion scrolls. You were trying to get Angenica. The video ads chest is nice, and the free Frost Wrath, that's pretty cool. But I think I've talked enough about this event. Let's go into what I think everyone likes hearing, the analysis portion, where I'm gonna do a quick little mini analysis on these two new monsters. And so let's start off with Burning Rogue, and take a look at this monster. He's not even a monster, he's human. Look at him, his teenage form, he's a legitimate teenager. And then what the heck happened there? Seriously, what the heck happened? But anyways, power 2900, life 2301, speed 2870, and these are pretty good stats for an epic monster. He's immune to possession, he is fire and dark, and he's in the Underworld and the Evil Legions book. For relics, he can hold the sword and the trap, and again, I'm not too familiar with relics. There's too many changes going on that I don't really want to devote time into them, because who knows what's going to happen with relics. They might change completely. I have no idea right now. But anyhow, let's take a look at skills. Top Dexterity, 0 Charisma. I swear it was 100. Deals very heavy fire damage to all enemies. Applies Ignition. Applies Ignite to all enemies. This is a pretty great ultimate, you know. It deals a nice amount of damage. It also applies Ignition. This monster is going to be attacker, by the way. So for those triple epic wars, he's going to be quite a strong attacker. Let's see, Rusty Stab, Illness Arrow, Burning. So check this out. He has damage reduction, poison, and burning. And here's the interesting thing about this monster. He has burning that lasts for 4 turns. Burning is only supposed to last for 3 turns. I don't know if this is a mistake, a typo, but if it is 4 turns, that's just pretty cool, you know. Moving on to skills group 2, where it's what really matters. Quick Potion, he heals himself by 30%. I always love when an attacker has a skill that heals himself, because keep in mind, your attacker isn't going first. They're typically going second or third. So if the enemy has a deny monster that maybe, you know, let's say you're facing the one that has AoE possession. Well, it's a great thing your epic monster is immune to possession, and if the enemy deny monster does an attack that deals damage, you can just use Quick Potion to just recover your life. So I always love when they have healing skills. Dark Poison Bolt is a 0 damage attack, so cooldowns activated doesn't work against him. It deals 60 damage, 60 dark base damage, and it also poisons an enemy monster. That's pretty cool. And then we have Burning Bolt, which is a 65 damage fire based attack that applies burning, which again lasts for 4 turns now, if it's not a typo. So skills group 2 is quite wow. 50 damage, heals by 30%, 65 burning damage with a 1 turn cooldown too, and 23 stamina. And Dark Poison Bolt, 60 dark base damage, 0 cooldown, and applies poison. Really great skills in skills group 2. And then moving on over to skills group 3, we have Angry Stab. Deals heavy dark damage, applies damage reduction to one enemy, requires cooldown. And that was actually kind of a letdown, so moving on over to Dark Poison Rain. Deals moderate dark damage to all enemies, applies poison to all enemies. He has an AoE Poison, 35 dark base damage and AoE Poison. And look at that, we have something called Burning Arrows Rain. I wonder what that does. Oh, you guessed it. Deals moderate fire damage to all enemies, applies burn to all enemies. But it's a 40 fire based AoE that applies burning. So AoE burning, AoE poison, single 65 fire based, single 60 damage dark based, and no cooldown. He's a great attacker, and I love his monster design. I know they're supposed to be monsters, right? The origins of Monster Legends is they were humans, they escaped in a portal, and they turned into monsters. But it appears that this monster escaped, or this human escaped and stayed a human, at least until he turned into an adult. But I love it. I actually, this is one of the few forms that I love, the teenage form. I wish I could keep him in the teenager form forever. He's a great monster. Unfortunately, I probably won't be getting him until he's available in some offer. He's available free or something, which probably won't be for a while. But yeah, just really, I love the monster design. That's all I really got to say. He also, like I said, he reminds me of Shelnar. He's like a baby Shelnar, just a male human version / demon. I don't know, guys, but with that being said, let's move on over to the new Magic Legendary monster, Dungeon Master. As a kid, the Dungeon Master had no friends, so she became a hateful creature, wanting other monsters to follow and obey her. Ever since she became a monster and gained control of the dungeons, all of her joy comes from challenging monsters with traps and encounters. And let's take a look at this monster. Power 3201, not a really good power, which signifies her as not being an attacker, but is a deny monster. Life 29255. I believe that's pretty good for magic monsters. Speed 3476. Now the new must-have go-to speed is 3498, but this is still a really good speed, especially when you combine it with the fact that she has the harden trait, which means it's kind of hard to well, I mean, it's not that hard to immobilize, but there's that 20% chance she doesn't get immobilized. As for books, she is in the Evil Legions and Underworld book, and I'm surprised she's not in the female book. So this again goes back to the fact that there's a lot of confusion around this monster, whether it's a guy or a girl. But that aside, this monster can also hold an amulet and a staff. And let's talk about skills. We have the ultimate attack called Critical, deals massive magic damage to all of the enemies, activates cooldowns on all the enemies. So for an ultimate attack, it's not too amazing, I would say, because she actually has an AoE cooldowns activated, so there's not much of a need to do your ultimate attack. I mean, it's 65 damage, magic based damage, but again, she has a low power, you're going to run her with 3 speedruns, so as far as ultimates, I'm not too impressed. But her skills, I am incredibly impressed. So let's start off by looking at skills group 1 and then we can move on over, because skills group 1 actually does have some noteworthy skills. So Book Carrier is not noteworthy, it does nothing. First module, 50% chance of applying Total Blind. Total Blind was introduced with the recent Team Race monster Scrap Warrior, where the monsters get 100% accuracy reduced, which is like, it's as good as deny skills, because this means they can't hit you, right? They can't land a status effect on you, and they can't land damage on you. So it's almost as if you have a self-evasion, or it's almost as if they're stunned or frozen, except it's actually more like they're possessed without attacking their own team. Because the one thing about being stunned and frozen is that they don't waste any stamina, right? They don't waste an attack. But if you're blinded, you do use an attack, so the enemy monsters waste their stamina and they waste an attack, and if that attack has a cooldown, well, now that cooldown is going to be activated on that attack, so they can't use it next turn. So Total Blind, I am absolutely loving that. And then we have Roll the Dice, 50% chance of applying stun and possession to a single enemy, and it deals no damage. So chances are, if you do this against a monster that has no Hardened, no Bulwark, no Tough, none of that stuff, you are going to land one or the other. So it's a pretty good skill with that regard, but I mean, just wait till you see skills group 2 and 3 and you're going to be blown away. So speaking of which, we have Magical Trap. Deals moderate special damage, applies a random, I love this, random torture status effect. So what we call DOT, damage over time, Social Point calls torture status effects. And this includes stuff like, well, all the DOTs. Burning, Nightmares, Poison, Bleeding. But what's even cooler about Dungeon Master is that this includes those newer DOTs that not a lot of monsters have, like Sunburn and Quicksand. I'm surprised they didn't add Ignition into the loop. But yeah, you can finally apply Quicksand and Sunburn. That's pretty darn cool. And then yeah, it's just one random negative effect. Imagine if it would have been, not negative effect, one random torture status effect, sorry. Imagine if it would have been like 2, that would have been insane. But yeah, we have Magical Trap. Oh, and by the way, this is to a single enemy. If I said AoE, I apologize, but yeah, it's just really cool. We also have Really Disoriented, deals heavy magic damage to one enemy, applies Total Blind. There it is, a single Total Blind. Definitely need to run this skill, especially considering you're going to be going full speedruns on this monster. You need to just hit that Total Blind on whoever is the main threat to you. Anyways, we also have Friends Gathering, deactivates cooldowns and removes all negative status effects from all allies. This is pretty awesome. The only thing I don't like is that it has a 3-turn cooldown. And I always feel like if you have a cooldowns deactivated skill, shouldn't it cost 0 cooldown? That way you can counter like a Timeron that just cooldowns activated, or a Montezuma, or any monster that has an AoE cooldowns activated. Because if you get hit with the cooldowns activated, well then you can't deactivate your team's cooldowns. Now, of course, there's still practical applications, like if you have a monster that does an AoE, and then it has a 4-turn cooldown, and then if Dungeon Master goes, she can just reset it so that your monster will be able to do that AoE again. You can totally do that, but I would like it a lot more if you could just counter cooldowns activated, or skills similar to that. That'd be really cool. Montezuma Revenge, stuff like that. But anyhow, scrolling down, we have Critical Failure. Deals moderate damage to all enemies, applies Total Blind. Yes, we have an AoE Total Blind on a super fast monster. The problem with Scrap Warrior was that he wasn't that fast. He's more of an attacker if you look at his skills. But Dungeon Master, just looking at her power, she's not an attacker. She's a full-blown deny monster, and it is so awesome that she has Total Blind, 35 damage, 3-turn cooldown. I mean, like, if you were ever in a situation where you were so fast that you get 2 turns in before the enemy, you could actually do like deactivate cooldowns and use Critical Failure. Like, it's just, I love this monster. She's so awesome. And speaking of cooldowns activated, a bit late, activates all cooldowns on the enemies with no drawback. 0 damage, which means it'll always land on the enemy monsters. This is so great. This is like, the one thing I didn't like about Montezuma is that Montezuma Revenge, it activates the cooldowns on the enemy team, but then it activates the cooldowns on himself. So he essentially becomes kind of useless for 2 turns unless you run the AoE damage reduction skill, which not many people probably do. So the fact that we have a super fast monster with a hardened trait that can activate cooldowns, that can also do Total Blind, like seriously, she is so great at denying. Total Blind 1 turn, cooldowns activated the next turn, single total blind the next turn, deactivate cooldowns if you want to. But we haven't even talked about the final skill, Roll the Effect. Deals moderate magic damage to enemies, applies random torture status effects. So she has an AoE random torture status effect skill. Oh my goodness. I don't like running 3 AoEs on a monster, but this might be one case where I actually would if I had her. Because even on defense, she would be great. Because if she was to start off with one of these skills, they're all pretty good. A bit late, that'll shut down your team. Critical failure, that'll definitely shut down your team. Roll the Effect, that may not shut down your team, but it'll hit them with some DOT, or random torture status effect. And then if you're running really disoriented, this will shut down another monster. So yeah, quite a phenomenal monster. Really wish I could get Dungeon Master. Unfortunately I can't, but that doesn't take away from the fact that she is so darn amazing, so darn phenomenal. And with that being said, that is going to conclude this video. Please let me know what you guys thought about the video, and what do you actually think about this event overall. I have to say, the beginner rewards, they're not too amazing, they're kind of a letdown. Superior Scrolls are nice, the video ads chest is nice, the free Frost Wrath is nice, but I kind of wish we got one of the newer monsters, like at least Burning Rogue. I would have loved to get him early on. But yeah, just whatever thoughts are going on through your guys' mind about the Keeper's Fable Island, let me know in the comments below. Best of luck to all of you on this progressive island, and like always, remember to dream big and pursue your passions.